Hello fellow sim racers. Today I'm taking a look at the IER Corvette Daytona Prototype for Assetto Corsa, while taking a pleasant Sunday drive in the Georgia woodland. The start lights on this road at Lantern mod don't seem to work, so we have to rely on the in-game overlay. Thankfully I remembered to look up so you guys can actually get to see the start lights. We get plenty of wheel spin off the line, but we've made it work. Obviously there's no rolling starts in Assetto Corsa, so we're having to make the best of it. So we back off pretty early for turn one so we don't get pinched by the AI. These Daytona prototypes don't really like leaning on each other too much. This is not your daddy's GT3 car. So this video is supposed to be part race, part review. So to sort of catch you up, last week Stubbs commented on my GTLM at Daytona video to let me know about this mod. Somehow I had missed the fact that the IER guys have been working on Daytona Prototype mod for a while now. And obviously this is good news, and it probably didn't hurt that the comment was posted sort of a couple of hours before the 12 hours of Sebring started as well, so sort of fortuitous timing. We half-heartedly have a look at the inside of the Spirit of Daytona car there and think better of it, take a wider entry into turn 7, and we have got a much better line there. Completely out-drag him and try and get into the slipstream of the red car in front of us. This race is all Daytona prototypes. I do like doing the multi-class stuff, but it doesn't really translate that well into videos here because you sort of need at least a 15-minute long race before you sort of catch the slower class cars. Nice and gently through the final chicane for the last time, and we are able to go completely flat out in this car through the sort of final turn 11 and 12 complex. So that is one lap at Road Lantern done in the Daytona Prototype by IER. To let you know, the car is part of a pack that includes the Coyote and Dallara Daytona Prototypes, as well as the Oreca LMPC car. And, well, to cut a long story short, I think they're all bloody great. The team have included impressive amounts of real-world data into the physics models, and from my complete layman perspective, these cars feel like they're a cut above most other mod cars. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that, in my opinion at least, these prototypes are every bit as good as the Race Sim Studios GT pack, to give you some sort of idea of the ballpark they're in. Again, we take a better line than the AI through turn 7 and just get a beautiful launch down onto the back straight. As you can see, the position numbers on the side of the car working properly there. It means we're taking a P9, I think. Just about to see P10 there. AI car might be slightly better geared than me, or might have the slipstream. We get on the brakes nice and early, and he's still with us. Yeah, absolutely cut him off across the chicane there. Thankfully, the AI is a little bit more compliant in Assetto Corsa than in your average online lobby. So this car is really good fun to drive, and I think it rewards drivers with quite a sensitive feel for the controls. For me, the brakes react as they should on a downforce reliant car, allowing you to brake heavily to start with but requiring you to ease off the pressure while decelerating. Moreover, it's the sort of car that really allows you to steer on the brakes, particularly in low speed corners. When the downforce is off, it handles very much like a GT car, but in the faster corners it's planted and pointy like a single-seater. Do enjoy slinging it into the turn 6 complex there. You're sort of right on the edge of where the downforce starts to work. Turn 7's too slow and it feels incredibly, well, clumsy, as it does in a lot of single-seaters. But the turn 1 complex and then through the S's just feels great in this car. Turn 11 and 12 as well, the fast right-handers before the end of the lap are just super fast, right on the edge of grip, and just really good fun. It's a car that, as I said, sort of rewards steering on the brakes as you sort of brake heavily down into the chicane there. You need to sort of trail brake as you turn the car in, otherwise it all goes wrong really. To get a great run through the last 2 corners, and we're not quite brave enough to throw one up the inside into, I don't know what is, probably 100+ mile an hour right-hander there. Car gets a little bit light over the bump there on the crest, and you have to be very careful as you're braking reasonably heavily. The S's aren't really a challenge here. Try not to hit the curb on the inside there. On this mod in particular, it's got a very sharp face that's not really there in the iRacing version of this track at least. So what I like about this car is that it feels, well, right. I guess what I mean is that meets my preconceptions about what the last generation of Daytona prototypes feel like as we sort of run the AI off the track a little bit there. Never mind about that. Part of my opinion about these Daytona prototypes now that should drive has been informed by the iRacing version of the car, but to be honest I don't really want to waste too much effort making a blow-by-blow comparison of the two offerings. I think it's enough to say that both cars have their merits, and I think both measure up pretty favourably against each other overall. Impressively, my lap times are within a few tenths across both platforms. In fact, I was posting nearly identical times at Laguna Seca in both the Assetto Corsa and iRacing versions of this car. If I had to pick a favourite, it would actually be this IER mod, purely because I think it's a bit more of a challenge to drive. It rewards driver inputs a little bit more. That doesn't mean I think it's more realistic or whatever other measures you might want to sort of stack cars or games up against each other with. The feeling I get driving the car is just a touch more rewarding. Love throwing it over the curb there a little bit. Fraught with danger, but you know, there you are. You can get the IER USCC pack over at Race Department, and best of all, it's completely free. I think it's fair to say that a mod of this quality, the IER guys could have absolutely justified charging for it, but as it happens, that's not the model they've chosen. So we start to get into the slipstream of the Konica Minolta car there. As you see, it's not very powerful, very far back, but as soon as you start to get closer, it sucks you in perfectly. Jump on the brakes as hard as you can to start with, slightly blend them off as the downforce comes off, and then even more as you enter the corner. It's tough to see on the pedal cam as I'm using a load cell pedal, so it's not measuring the travel, it's measuring the pressure. But anyway, as I was saying, you can download the mod from Race Department, and it's completely free. If you enjoy the mod, you can donate to the IER guys via their website, and I highly encourage that you do so. I've put a link in the description to the Race Department download page, so once you're done here, you should absolutely go and get it. While I'm wrapping up things like that, for anyone interested, the Road Atlanta mod is a track by Jim Lloyd, and it's based on the R Factor 2 mod by Uzi. It's pretty damn good in my opinion, and it's a must-have for every Assetto Corsa player out there. As you'd expect, it's available from Race Department, and I've put a download link in the description. See if we can get a better exit out of turn 7 than the AI again, as we have on the previous few laps. Oh, as we get a bunch of oversteer for the first time there. Probably jumping on the power a little bit early. Might be a little bit too far back to get any benefit from the slipstream, as it sort of feels like the car in front is getting away from us. Unfortunately, we only have 4 corners left, so there's not a lot of time to do anything unless we launch one from a long way back, and we try our best, but AI not having any of it. Sometimes you can worry them off the track a little bit, but it doesn't happen this time. So all that's left to do is fling the car through the over the crest in the very fast turn 11, and try not to hit the curb on the inside of turn 12. And there we go, guys. I've run out of laps. 8th place from, well, actually I can't remember where I started. If you stuck around to the end of the video, thank you very much, but you should now go and download the IER USCC pack. As always, guys, thank you for donating your precious free time. It is very much appreciated. And I guess all that's left to say is goodbye and enjoy the rest of your day.